In the time before the Titans, before the gods of Olympus, a great battle was waged.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my God of War Ascension Titan difficulty video walkthrough. I just ran over my finger with my chair because my cable was stuck in the wheel and that fucking hurt. Ow. This is Delos' landing, or Delos landing, because there's no apostrophe. And you'll recognise this if you played a specific demo. I'm not too sure how you got this demo, but I know that there was footage of it well before the game came out on YouTube. It's slightly different obviously on this difficulty, because I don't think you saw the big guy. And I don't think these dudes here were armoured, but I never played it, so, you know, I can't really answer. But this is a bunch of armoured guys. The quickest way to get their armour off is to parry them. You can block all their attacks, so it is relatively safe if you're good with your timing. But this strategy here is what I did the first time, which is just spam the Plume of Prometheus until it breaks and then throw them. So it's the one I eventually did. And it's all about spacing, it's all about evasion. And it's very simple to do. And that move there, I love that move with square, but the only problem is, every so often Kratos will go into the bigger combo with square, and I couldn't figure out if it was my pad sticking that made him do it, or holding forward on the analog as an input. I couldn't figure out what was making him do it, but I didn't want him to do it. So every time you see me do the bigger square combo, it's a mistake on my part, because the 4 squares is just so good. And be careful, because these enemies, when they start attacking, it's like they've got hyper armor or ridiculous amounts of poise, because they just walk through your attacks. And if you get hit by the first one, it does stun you a little bit, but you can block. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to block. It's not a very good strategy. I just take it to the face like a cheap hooker. But just keep on grabbing them, executing them, throwing them. And when these guys are dead, the big guy's going to drop down and he's going to be flanked by a bunch more of the armoured dudes. And this is where you're going to see me doing the parries. Because I always parry this guy and I always use him against whoever's with him. And sometimes the camera's not your best friend because there's so much happening, you can't really see what's going on. So just stay calm because you are safe and just time the parry. There it is. And this is fun too, because you get to do the crazy running around with people and throw them. And if there was a gap in the wall, you could throw them off and kill them instantly, but I didn't really find a good place to do that. But yeah, parry, use them to damage the friends with the throws that give you iframes. And just keep that block up. It's just... like, this looks intimidating, but it really isn't, because you're 100% safe. You could do this forever and never die, because the only way you die is by lowering your block or by missing a parry. Every other scenario, these guys cannot hurt you. And I think it's important to God of War because it's what makes it God of War, but from a dick perspective, you know, it just doesn't have the balls. From a difficulty perspective, it's too safe. Like, you know, it really is too safe. This should not be possible. And I'm glad it is, because it makes my job as, you know, making these walkthroughs much easier. And like just then, I messed up a parry and I got juggled a little bit. So, it does come with its dangers, but it's so safe. And the funny thing about God of War is you will struggle with a section and it'll be an absolute nightmare, and you watch somebody else do it and they'll hold block and be completely safe, and you just didn't think to do it because you're already thinking in your head that that can't work. You know, games have come a long way since stuff like that worked, and it really does. And one of the reasons why parrying these guys is so effective, because as you can see, they block. And I hate bosses who block, I hate enemies who block, I hate blocking in general. You know, I should have all the block. No one else can have it, it's too powerful. But this is just, you know, just cleaning up at this point, so just get rid of them as quick as you can. You'll notice, you can use magic if you want to, there is plenty of refills to your right. You can do this as sloppily as you need to, because there's a life refill. The game is extremely kind. which just adds further confusion when you see these forum posts of people saying it's the hardest God of War that's ever come out. It's like, why? What are you doing? Are you not facing your television when you play? Are you doing a no upgrade run pain plus? It's like, what are you doing? It's got to be more specific than you're just not that great. So this is the one of the introductions coming up to the Sea Serpent. I think we've already seen it at this point. If we haven't, it's my memory just jamming. It's kind of a haze, this game, at this point, because I've played it so quickly in rapid succession. But you'll notice, you know, kind of Kraken, sea monster-y thing. Hydra-esque monster. And I just think it's great how that plays into the story, because I just did not see it coming. And I think it's really subtle storytelling. And it's yet another great aspect of a game that is completely underappreciated. Like, it must suck working at Santa Monica right now, just seeing all these people shit on a game that's not bad. And I know what a lot of people might say to that response. You know, 7 out of 10 is not a bad score. You know, 7.8 is not a bad score. But still, I'm not the biggest fan of scores, fundamentally, because I don't think anything deserves a 10. And I think we should be a lot more critical than we are with scores. Because IGN, I don't think they've ever given anything below a 6. And I'm sorry, folks, but there are some really fucking shit games in the world. And I hate to say that IGN, you know, best reviews go to the people that give them the most money, but it certainly looks a bit suspicious when they're giving bad games good reviews and good games bad reviews, or average reviews, because, like I say, they don't give bad reviews. It's almost like, you know, career suicide, because they use these devs to advertise on their site and get revenue. I don't get it. It's weird. It's very political, and it's unnecessarily so, because the critical side should always be independent and unbiased, but we all know that that's not possible because we live in this shitty world that is fantastic on almost every conceivable way, except for when it comes to the corruption of people, which is far too deep for a God of War commentary, so I'm just going to stop there. This bit, once again, you can block everything these guys do, so I'm just going to parry them and try and throw them off the edge, because if you go to the top end of this area, you can throw them off, but one parry and a grab will kill these things. The only problem is, I have no experience parrying spear guys, so you're going to notice when I'm blocking, I wait quite a long time before I even attempt the parry, because I just wanted to see the patterns. But it's the best thing to do, guys, trust me. Because these people, I keep saying guys, I don't even know why, these armoured goat men are really spammy with the spears. They're not as bad as the bowler guys, but they're still pretty terrible. But see what I mean? One parry and you've won. There's a failed parry just then. There's a successful one. And it's all down to practice and timing. You know, give me a week and I'll be able to parry every enemy on the game. Because sometimes it's useful, but as we found out in one of the Cerberus fights, it didn't seem to be too useful against him. But wait for them. Get the parry. That was... what crazy midge just flew above my monitor. He will feast on me during the night. I could already sense this. And if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm using the Plume of Prometheus to pop them off the edge. It's a very, very effective technique. And it just makes it a little bit quicker. Because one of the criticisms of God of War is the fact that you beat things up for a long time before they die. And it's true, but I guess I've kind of just accepted it as what God of War is. Like, I was watching a really interesting live commentary the other day on Ninja Gaiden 2. The guy really likes Ninja Gaiden 2, and it's a great game, but to him it's probably his favourite action game. And he was comparing other games, like Devil May Cry and stuff like that to it, and to him they just don't compare at all, because they're too slow. And he even said Bayonetta was too slow. And to me that's just amazing, because I think Bayonetta is probably one of the fastest games I've ever played. But, you know, that comes with an addendum that you have to be fighting a very specific enemy or a group of enemies, and it has to be on infinite climax mode, because, you know, the main mechanic in that game is a slow time ability, which is obviously going to make it feel much slower than it is. But on infinite climax, that game gets so fast. really fast. And I just hope that that person played the games, you know, before he passed his judgment on it. Because if he weren't to play these fantastic games just because it's not as fast as Ninja Gaiden, he's probably never going to play another game again. Because, you know, it doesn't get much faster than Ninja Gaiden 2. That is such a fast game. And this fight here, 2 elemental hammer guys, there's the magic attack. If you're out of that radius, it does nothing to you. Just wait them out, divide and conquer, use your freeze ability, make sure you execute them when they're down. They're not at... oh, there we go. That's how much I enjoy the quick time events on this game. And my massive TV that makes sure that I can't see the buggers. It's just how it blends in so much. I just think they've done it all wrong. I really do. But there goes these fellas. Good night. Couple of red orbs, couple of gold orbs. Get rid of that weird looking cloud thing. And then we can proceed onwards to the next part of Delos Landing. So, thank you for watching. I hope it's helping. And you take care now.